Hey, it's James Lynch. So Tom Aspinall gave an update on his eye injury and basically went into detail about what he is suffering from since the fight with Ciryl Gane. We'll hear about some of the stuff he says in this video, but I like the fact that Aspinall is getting all this out on the table, giving people the information, and smart of him to do this on his YouTube channel, which, by the way, I noticed that video on this is up to over 500,000 views, which is really good for Tom here. But I like this, and I like some of the quotes in here. And I don't like everything that Aspinall says, so we're going to dig into some of the stuff here. Shout out to Home of Fight for kind of summarizing everything, but we'll start with the first tweet. I'm obviously not a doctor, that's why I'm doing videos like this instead, but a lot of damage here, and you can see the doctor's report all kind of summarized up well. Doesn't look good, and as far as I know, we don't have a timetable as to when Aspinall is going to return. He's not training right now, so this is pretty serious, and predictably, you've got people in the comments disputing the actual evidence that shows that Tom Aspinall is suffering from an eye injury, like this comment right here. He was cleared by other doctors, went to an England doctor that would pamper him. I mean, this is what you're dealing with right now. I don't know of any other sport where someone essentially cheats, which is what Gane did, and fans are upset with the person that actually suffered that foul. So yeah, that's just, interesting, just a little bit there. But let's start first with Aspinall responding to Dana White. And this is the quote I really liked here, where he says, Tom Aspinall is not happy with Dana White's comments after the UFC 321 press conference regarding whether or not he continue after the eye poke. He says, I'll tell you why I didn't continue, because I'm not an effing dummy. And I think one of the things that people forget here, aside from the injury itself, like there's a lot at stake here, right? He's the heavyweight champion. You lose the fight, like you don't want to. And I've heard from other fighters talk about this too, about eye pokes. Like you're really compromised if you can't see it at two eyes. So I don't blame Aspinall for not wanting to continue. I know there's this whole warrior mentality. We saw the way fans treated Reiner de Ritter after his team threw in the towel after he couldn't continue against Brendan Allen. Tom Aspinall is getting similar treatment here. And I just think people aren't looking at the overall context of things. The fact that we've got a heavyweight title fight on the line, the stakes are high, and essentially Gane committed a foul right at the end of the day. So that's how we have to look at it. But I like this quote here from Aspinall. Listen, UFC doesn't value Aspinall that much anyways, right? They announced that he was the official champion without telling him. They posted it on social media. We hear Dana's comments after the fight. I mean, we know the UFC does not like eye pokes whatsoever. Dana had similar comments when Henry Cejudo lost his fight to Song Yadong earlier this year in Seattle. Honestly, if you go watch the press conferences, they're very similar. Dana just does not like eye pokes. And rather than say, hey, we'll rebook the fight, he was kind of blaming Aspinall for leaving the fight early. But I like the quote here from Aspinall. Okay, let's hear for some other stuff here from Aspinall, talking about the Ciryl Gane cheating stuff, which again, he committed a foul. As far as Gane being a cheater, don't necessarily agree with that. I do think it was an accident, but here's what Aspinall has to say about Ciryl Gane poking him in the eye.
Did you think he did it on purpose?
So, I think that when it initially happened, I didn't really think much of it. I thought, accidental eye poke, whatever. Look, when I watched the fight back, that's when I really got the gist of what's going on. The guy was trying to poke my eyes out all the way through that round. Nearly every exchange that I could put him in danger, he had his fingers out pointing towards my eyes.
And your thoughts on him at the moment?
My thoughts on him, I think he's a big cheater. I think that, look at all his fights.
So I get his frustration, and maybe he's seeing something that I'm not. I watched the fight; it looked like an accident to me. And I know Gane's been accused of some of this stuff in the past. I don't know if this is the angle he wants to take. Like they're gonna end up fighting again, right? Like maybe this just adds more blood to bad blood, I should say. Maybe it is good promotional material. But even like Ben Askren has kind of chimed in on this, saying this is whiny, bad look, talking about the cheating stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be better if Aspinall had come out and maybe said like, look, like it didn't look good and we'll figure it out in the rematch. I think calling him a cheater and accusing him of doing this on purpose, I don't know about that. I think that's a bit of a stretch. Nonetheless, the blame should be on Gane here, not Aspinall. And of course, people are not going to be happy about saying this either. We got another quote here from Aspinall saying, talking about Gane being up in the fight. Here's what he has to say about that. Responsive fans are saying he was losing the fight.
I felt like the fight was going okay. It was going pretty much to plan. I think that, look, there was this big notion in the media before that I'm just going to run through Ciryl Gane. Look, I might look like an idiot. Sometimes I might even talk like an idiot. But when it comes to fighting, I know what I'm talking about. And I know that Ciryl Gane is a tough matchup for me. Really good defensively. I knew that if we want to break the fight down a little bit, Cyryl's got really good defence. He moves really, really well on his feet. I knew that I have to stand in range and take a few punches from Cyril to be able to land my own shots. I thought it was going to be a 5-round fight. Go and look at my pre-fight stuff. I knew this was going to be a long and tough fight. I felt like the fight was going okay.
So anyways, so yeah, he sort of talks about how this is going to plan. I mean, it would be good if he kind of pointed out that Gane probably was ahead in this fight. Again, you know, it's tough to say. I don't think you can really judge everything off that little, you know, bit of what we saw in the fight as far as like who the better fighter is. This is why we need to do the rematch. We need to settle it once and for all. You can't just take something from like a round of a fight and then just conclude that, oh, fighter A is better than fighter B. This is why you need to see the rematch. So there we go. And I like this from Aspinall too. This was more recently. He says that he's going to embrace being the bad guy, which I think he needs to do, especially with how people have treated him.
Can we get full-time bully Aspinall after this smear campaign? How are you going to be on the comeback?
Mate, when I come back, there is no more Mr. Nice Guy. Nice Tom. When it comes to MMA, he's gone. And I'm going full bad guy, I think.
Well, let's hope he gets some good trash talk here. Because again, you could use the cheater stuff. You got to be clever with it if you want to play that role of the bad guy. I don't know how Aspinall will do with that, but I don't blame him. Again, like Aspinall has been treated worse than some UFC fighters who have actually been arrested by the law and like had actually bad things happen to them outside the cage. But that's just how new fans are these days. Is they, you know, you do something like I was saying this on my live stream earlier today, like if you miss weight or you cannot continue in a fight, that's like the two big cardinal sins from fans that they'll like never let it go and they'll hold on to it forever. And this is where, you know, and I don't know why they're like that. It's just, it's the way things are. So the fact that Aspinall is going to clap back, good. Don't let people walk all over you. Again, they got to rebook the fight and then we'll see who the better fighter is. Right. So yeah, so that's basically it. You know, again, I know I'm a little bit late on this video. This came out yesterday. But I thought, you know, it's good that Aspinall's kind of getting everything on the table, putting the cards out there. It's not like he's putting this out to convince people, right? Like, you know that there's going to be people no matter what. They could show him. I mean, he did show the medical report here, and we've got people in the comments saying that it's, you know, it's not accurate and that the doctor's pampering him like you just saw there. So, you know, and I'm sure if we dug through the rest of the comments here, you'd see people kind of going against it. But the one thing I didn't hear in all the Aspinall stuff, and again, you can go watch the full video on his YouTube channel, is like when he's going to come back, because it sounds like he's not training right now. You hope he has a full recovery. You hope that it's not going to be something that takes him out for a while. You got to be careful with eye injuries. There's certain fighters that have had to retire because of eye injuries because they couldn't continue anymore. You know, I don't think you're going to have like a Michael Bisping situation where you can just get away with fighting with one eye. I mean, commission's going to be pretty strict on that stuff. So let's hope it gets done just for the sake of the division. Like, I don't think I'm alone here when I say like the division's been stagnant because of the John Jones situation and now this eye poke. Let's hope 2026 gets the ball moving a little bit. But yeah, if we hear anything else on Aspinall as far as him getting back to training, when the Cyril Gane fight can take place, I'll try and do a video on that. But just wanted to give my quick thoughts on this, that overall, I like what Aspinall did. As far as the cheating stuff and saying he intentionally did it, I don't really agree with that. But again, I understand Aspinall's frustrations as well, because this is a guy whose livelihood has been taken away at this moment because of a foul committed by his opponent here against Cyril Gane. So yeah, I think overall, we'll see where Aspinall goes from here. But yeah, we'll see when he's ready to return. So your thoughts on Aspinall's video? What did you think of it? What did you think of all the medical stuff he put out there? Let me know in the comments your thoughts on everything. And yeah, would love to hear from you. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram @Lynch on Sports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.